In the past, I've reviewed the Gamo GX40 and quite categorically stated it was a firm favourite of mine, and I even put together a package for new starters into the airgunning scene for less than £500, which incidentally I'm going to be working on making this either cheaper or better for the money, but that's in the near future, hopefully. But I haven't actually reviewed my Gamo that I've owned for a couple of years or so now. So this week it's time to review the Gamo Coyote. Hello and welcome to AAR on Air. It's Gamo time, and as I've said, my Gamo, bought and paid for using my own hard-earned readies. The low-priced Coyote. Is it any good? What is the difference between this and the GX40, and how reliable has it been? As always, let's start with the walk-around, shall we? Well, it's black. That's the colour description out of the way. Seriously, that's fine by me. I like simple. As I've said before, less is often more, if you know what I mean. Why mess it up with lots of different colours? It was supplied without a silencer or moderator, and believe me, you're going to need one, because without it, it has quite a bark. Now, I chose a Viroc item to put on this one, and all you can hear now is the internals, nothing from the front end. Without that silencer, it is 98 centimetres long or 38.5 inches, and unscoped tops the scales at 3.8 kilos or about 8.3 pounds. Whilst we're at the front, let's start here and work our way back. The barrel is a standard half-inch UNF threaded hammer forged item. Below this is the fairly basic but fully efficient gauge showing its 232 bar maximum fill pressure, as is quite often standard on most of the Gamo BSA rifles. This gauge is shrouded in a pull-off dust cover that reveals the filler port. I like the idea and the position of the filler port and the dust cover, but as always, having a gauge at the business end, well, that's a different matter, and seems to be a positioning thing that a lot of companies do, probably partly for aesthetic reasons and partly to keep costs of design down, which I suppose helps keep the final price low too. But it does make you follow safety procedures closely when you're going to check the pressure. Continuing back, we come to the ambidextrous stock, which is all ballistic polymer, the quality of which is actually pretty good, unlike some rifles I've tried in the past which feel more like cheap Bakelite. If I was to be picky though, I would say the mould lines are not particularly well finished off and could do with some TLC to improve. A job that, sadly, I haven't had the time to get around to, but I am more than happy to forgive this shortcoming because of all its strengths, as we'll see later. There are some rather nice recessed, rubberized infills along both sides of the front of the stock to aid grip and comfort. Under the front is a stud that I fitted for attaching a bipod. Continuing back, we come to the trigger setup, which is the Gamo Cat. No, not that sort of cat. The custom action trigger system, as Gamo call it, which is a two-stage adjustable item with the ability to adjust the first and second stage independently. The safety is in front of the trigger, something I actually quite like because of its simple and efficient design, and the fact that you can operate it with the trigger finger very easily. This one has a really nice setup trigger. This is a thumb hole type stock, which does eliminate the chances of shooting thumbs up, but again, it doesn't worry me too much. The grip also has those rubberized inserts to aid, well, grip, which gives you a sense that this gun has been designed as an all-season item that you will bring into service when you're out and about and really don't want your nice designer Manelli stock being put at risk. Going all the way back to the butt, there is an adjustable cheek piece, which is really very nice and useful and not normally seen on such lower priced items such as this with its £400 UK price tag. And then finally the recoil pad, which is a quite nice trick to it, where you can actually choose to remove the rubberized inserts to alter the rigidity. Not that it's really needed, but who doesn't like options? Working up to the top, this has the BSA feel to it. This is just like my R10. It has the same nice bolt action and even uses the same 10-round magazine system, which I have found to be pretty faultless over the years. The only thing this one doesn't have is the magazine lock that is on the R10. This is topped off with a scope. I must admit, I was going to change the scope on this before I did the review and put on one of my favourite Hawk scopes, which are my usual go-to scopes, but this had a budget item already fitted and zeroed in. It does have some of my favourite BKL mounts already fitted, so I thought, let's leave it on and do the target work with this one. Now, before we all jump to conclusions about how wonderful ultra-budget scopes are, I would add that the focus on this is nowhere near as good as, say, a more expensive Hawk item, and the reticle is also not nowhere near as good either, or the lenses anywhere near as bright, but it's fitted. So let's leave it on for now, shall we? Power levels then. This is a 177 because I was looking mostly to use this for a spotted target and possibly light pest control. This is shooting very consistently and nicely within the UK sub 12 foot-pound category and has been doing so consistently. This has been left for prolonged periods of time in the safe when not in use and has never leaked or lost any air pressure. So, without further ado, let's take a look at accuracy, shall we? Because this was actually the main reason why I bought this rifle. Let's set out at the usual 40 metres. Here goes. Like I said, this is why I bought this rifle. I have always been impressed with the BSA Gamo barrels, and so far they've never let me down. There is something so rewarding about a rifle that can do that, and when you consider the budget price and the fact that the scope is pretty low quality, it just gives the rifle more kudos in my mind. Every shot basically within a 16mm group out at 40 metres. That wasn't a one-off. It'll do that all day long. And if we take a look at the penny challenge, and then if we look at the coins, it shows them being hit pretty central and not only just clipping them. At this stage, I could say thank you, good night, see you next week, job done, drop the mic and finish. But one of the most asked questions I get around the Gamo rifles is that people are confused around the differences between them. So let's take a brief look, shall we? The guns people get confused with are such as the GX40 and the Coyote, and the Whisper range and the Tactical. Indeed, the whole range. Basically, the main difference is around the stocks, with either a tactical feel to it, thumb hole design, or the more traditional rifle shape. They are ambidextrous and can even be wood rather than the black polymer. The barrel length can also be slightly shorter and, as per the Whisper, can be supplied with a silencer, or not if you don't have the Whisper range. As I've already said, I think a silencer is needed, but can easily be fitted to the threaded barrels if you like. The bolt action and trigger system are pretty much standard on most of the models. I suppose it's mostly around aesthetics and sound, because I've found the accuracy doesn't suffer on any of them. They really are a go-to rifle to suit most people and within a really good budget. Look at one, try one, buy one. You won't be disappointed. And if you're not in a hurry, we're trying to work on that starter package as soon as we can with the suppliers, manufacturers and retail outlets. That's it. Hopefully you've found this useful and enjoyed it. If you have, as always, give us that all-important thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the reminder alarm bell. Feel free to share. Check out the AAR website and forums and follow us on Facebook. Leave us comments and suggestions. Clean ones, please. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and shoot safe. And hopefully we'll see you next week.